Oh, hello there, everyone. How are you this evening? It's so great to join you here again. All right, let's invite the lovely Natasha on. I am so excited. Prove, here we go. It's a bit of a slow process, this one. Adding. Whilst Natasha is joining us, I just want to share with you, I just want to ask you, are you enjoying these lives? Are you getting value out of them? There is already a broadcast on this video. Oh, what's going on here? 2 seconds. Approve. Natasha, could you please leave a comment for me on, just pop a comment, any comment, just say hi. Just say hi for me. Oh, okay.
Hi.
There she is. Hello, my darling. How are you?
Very excited. Thanks so much for having me back.
Woo! Welcome.
All the excitement.
Welcome to Wednesday Night Lives.
Woo.
Now, you know this is a highly anticipated interview. We've got so many people that are really itching to hear about your skin care hacks and tips. Because this is a really popular subject. No pressure or anything. It's going to be a hell of a lot of fun. Don't you worry about that.
No, I've just been reading those comments all week. Anticipation's been building. No pressure.
How's your day been?
It's been excellent. I've just been really getting into my, my headspace for this live. I'm really excited. I'm happy to share with you guys some knowledge and, some of my little hacks and things, as you said. So
yes.
I actually can't wait.
So, Natasha, I would love to hear a little bit about, firstly, a couple of things. How you got started with doTERRA, a little bit about your own skin journey, what this has looked like for you over the years and how it's evolved. Share with us all the things, and let's just get stuck into it, shall we?
Okay, let's just get stuck into it. We've got an hour, so let's roll. No, it's not long. So I got started with doTERRA actually thanks to my mum, but actually inadvertently it was actually you, Beck, that got me started on doTERRA, because you introduced mum because she met you through My Goodness Organics, and then you introduced her to doTERRA, and from there she introduced me to doTERRA, which was really exciting, because by that point I'd become interested in natural skincare and some homemade natural skincare. And I started researching a little bit about the oils because mum's like, oh, this is just amazing. You've got to try these. And so I decided to try and figure out ways to incorporate them into my skincare that I was making. And it's just really taken it to the next level.
And I remember at a masterclass that you came to, you when I started talking about oil cleansing, you were like, oh my God, you mentioned oil cleansing.
It was very exciting because I was kind of like the ground level with oil cleansing, which we'll talk about in a minute. We don't want to freak people out too quickly, Beck.
No.
But it's not scary. So yeah, it was really interesting because I'd never heard anyone else really talk about it in real life before. So it was really nice. I found a kindred spirit in you with natural skincare.
Awesome. Glad to hear.
Yeah. That was exciting when I first discovered the oils because, like I said, it just took my homemade skincare to a whole new level, just in terms of the way that my skin was feeling, the results that I was getting. It was absolutely amazing. And from there, I was able to start thinking about specific skin concerns that I had. So you can probably see I've got rosacea, which is these rosy red cheeks, which means I save lots of money on not having to buy blush. And then I've also got eczema, but my eczema is actually really good at the moment. So you can't really see it, but you can see that little tiny patch of dry skin.
Yep.
That's the worst it's been for, the longest time, which is really amazing because I've struggled my whole life with eczema. I've also, the rosacea's been here for quite a long time. So it's nice to be able to have some tools that are really addressing that. And the oils have really helped because natural skincare is amazing, but essential oils are beautiful and they're from nature and they actually know what they're doing. Like intuitively, they know which places in your body to go to, and they're really going to make a big difference, you know, just in everyday life. I also have keloid scars, but that's a whole nother ball game. I've not even figured out how to touch that with oils yet. But basically I don't know if anyone else has got that concern. I can see there's 10 people on
They do.
Everyone knows what it is. So Beck knows what it is.
Because we can probably touch on that at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, so I've got concerns with that, but I haven't touched it yet. So I'll probably mostly talk about my rosacea and my eczema and my acne, which was very abundant all over my face and all over my body until I started addressing that. Sorry.
No. Can I ask? So what I heard you say is that you were already doing DIY skincare when I met you. Were you ever, has that always been in your life? Were you just always, did you always have an affinity with doing your own skincare and making your own things using natural solutions? Or was there a time where you were using all the conventional, you know, L'Oreal and Elizabeth Arden and all those other brands that I just can't even remember anymore?
Neither can I, and I've only been doing natural skincare for, I'd like to say about 6 to 7 years now. Is when I really decided I wanted to put some effort into it, you know, do some research and actually take that step and start, you know, creating and making, and, you know, potions. I think I've heard the phrase somewhere, whether it was you or Chanel or somebody. So my potions of skincare. Yes. So about 6 or 7 years ago, I had a really bad ordeal with eczema. It was all over my hands, all up my arms, around my mouth. It was just migrating everywhere. And we actually had no recourse at all for that. Before that, I'd used the steroid creams. I don't know if anyone knows about them, but they're the special ones that the doctor has to get special permission for to even give you a prescription. So they're really hardcore. They're not the greatest thing to put on your body.
Toll on your body as well.
Yes, it takes a massive toll, and I used them for years and years. Like every ointment you can think of, I was prescribed it, and they worked, but then they'd stop working because my skin just had this life of its own, and it just decided that one day it had had enough. So I, with the help of my mum, Lordy, who's really amazing, so thank you, Mum, we just said, you know what, this is it. We need a better quality of life. You can't live like this anymore. And we just decided to jump online. It was just as easy as jumping on Google, but just trolling through websites, scrolling through articles, trying to figure out what would work, what wouldn't. We quickly discovered that super oily type products weren't going to work, which is probably why the ointments had stopped working on me, because I've got a lot of internal body heat. So they were just kind of they were exacerbating the eczema.
And as we know, steroids often just a band-aid solution. They're not addressing the underlying reason for the eczema in the first place. So there's no resolution.
Exactly. It's just a band-aid on a massive wound that's gaping and needs help.
Yeah.
I
know there are
as you said
in this group that deal with eczema, and I understand that it can have a real toll on your emotional health and your self-esteem. Uncomfortable and itchy and just constantly with you.
Just miserable is the word, miserable.
Yeah.
So I was at that miserable stage, and it really took that to getting to that point to actually just make us think that, well, why am I putting up with this? Why am I just taking what the doctor says at face value, that it doesn't work, like we'll just try another one and we'll just try another one. But once you get to that high end stage with all the steroid creams, it's the end of the road. So we needed something quick. So it was really amazing that I could take that natural skincare and then I could take those oils, and I was empowered to look after myself and to take care of my own skin.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And so I just realized you asked about conventional products, and thank you. I wasn't using the Elizabeth Arden's and the L'Oreal's. That was way too expensive. I was using Chemist Warehouse stuff, and that was no good for my skin either. So that's where, after I started tackling my eczema, I felt confident enough to tackle my skin, which we'll talk about, the oil cleansing and all sorts of other things, but it's honestly, it's really simple, and I'm just wanting to help demystify it a little bit for people, because it's not scary. It's okay. You can do it. I promise. If I can do it, you can do it.
Yep, yep, absolutely we can. So, okay, well, what I think we might do, you've just mentioned eczema. So how about we just start diving into a little bit of the eczema side of things and what the resolution of this looked like for you? What are the things that you started implementing, and how did you approach it with the oils? And maybe there are some other aspects and elements that you introduced at the same time that you might like to share with everybody as well.
Yeah, perfect. So with eczema, I'm kind of a bit of the mind that it's not one size fits all. So what worked for me might not work for you. So I'm going to give a couple of solutions and a couple of things that I've tried out that may or may not work. So I think I heard you mention at the masterclass back in January, just fractionated coconut oil with a little bit of lavender and a little bit of frankincense worked for, I think it was Anna, who was also at the masterclass. So for me, as I said, probably just straight oil-based products didn't work with my internal body heat, but it is a really great place to start because it's super simple and you've already got those products at home. So it doesn't hurt to try, and it's okay. Yeah, so that's one. The second one I would recommend would be doTERRA's Correct X. I really like Correct X. I have to say, if there's one product that I'll use that's sort of not made by myself, it's Correct X. For like small little
it's a bloody marvelous tube, that thing.
It is. It's
amazing
just
product.
It's amazing. It's amazing, and it's got beautiful lavender and frankincense, which are really soothing and healing for your skin, and tea tree and cedarwood and a little bit of helichrysum in there. So it's really beautiful and really nourishing for your skin. And then for myself, I found that wax-based balms work really well. So at the start, I was just purchasing things from my local natural kind of health food store that really work. Things like there's something with badger in the name. I can't remember. But they've got a really... Yes, badger balm's a really nice one. I'm just mindful of the fact that maybe not everyone's as keen as me to make things. So I'm trying to give solutions that'll... You can still add oils too.
Believe me, everybody that is here tonight, for the most part, they're interested in the DIY aspect.
Oh, okay. All right, then that's
so don't
good.
be afraid.
So I would say something like a badger balm would be really nice as well, because you can add your lavender and your frankincense to it, and even a little bit of tea tree is always good, because there is bacteria in your eczema, because it is it's gonna get like that. And I use a wax-based product, so I use kind of beeswax, some shea butter, and I'm trying to think of the third ingredient because I make really big jars, so I go for long periods of time. Do you use
cocoa butter, cacao butter, or
no, coconut oil? That's the third thing, because I like to make it so it's a little bit looser. Yeah, so those three, and I just add essential oils to them. You basically just have to melt those down, and you can add essential oils to them like frankincense or lavender or tea tree. They're probably the main three, not just because they're in the Home Essentials kit, but they're probably the best to tackle skin issues, because the lavender is really soothing, so is the frankincense, and if you use small amounts of tea tree, it actually won't irritate your skin as much maybe as it would typically if you would use a larger quantity. I'm very mindful of that because I've got incredibly sensitive skin, so I only ever use 1 to 2 drops.
So I'm imagining that the tea tree was possibly a little bit too drying for your skin, because it does have that really astringent tightening effect, which can have a detrimental effect on some people's eczema. Not everybody's, but some people's.
So I goes against everything that I've ever learned being Lebanese Italian, but less is more. When it comes to oil, less is more.
Just not when it comes to the olive oil. All the olive oil.
No, olive oil all the time, but yeah. So that's a really lovely way.
Asking if you use vegetable glycerin in your balms.
Okay, no, I don't. I try to keep it. I actually haven't done a lot of research around vegetable glycerin, just because I found that I wanted to just start with waxes and butters, and because I've had such success, I haven't actually had to add vegetable glycerin. I also think that if you can use probably the most natural thing possible, which again I'm not 100% sure about vegetable glycerin, but if you use butters and waxes and you make sure they're not processed and they're organic, that's as natural as you can get. So you're not going to have to worry usually about reactions for your skin. I don't know how vegetable glycerin would react. Yeah.
Sure.
But good question.
And I
I should look into that.
yeah, no worries. Food for thought. And so the benefit of using a wax-based balm or just a fatty balm in general is probably that it has a barrier type effect for the, is that what I'm hearing from you? Is that
Yes,
why you,
100%.
yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I found that a wax-based balm as opposed to an oil one. So when you're using the oil-based balms, you're still creating that barrier, but the beeswax actually is just it creates a much better, much stronger barrier without that oily residual effects.
Yeah. Yeah, gotcha. Beautiful. Can you see the comments, Tash? I'm just curious. Have you turned them off? Or
No,
can you see
I
them?
can't.
Right.
So you might have to just give me a shout every once in a while. Give me a wave. I'll stop talking.
I know. No, please don't. Please don't. All right. So you used your balm with frankincense and lavender and maybe a smidge of tea tree. How long did it take for you to see results or see a change in your eczema?
Honestly, I'd say within days.
Yeah, right.
It only took a few days. And that's probably me being conservative. It was a while ago now. As I said, it was probably about 6 or so years ago. But yeah, I would say within a few days, I really noticed the difference. And with the balm, you can also add, once you've, made it, and you can add essential oils once it's melted, but you can also add essential oils after the fact if you want to leave it unscented. Because sometimes I'll just do that and I'll just pop it on the palm and with the lavender and it's perfect. It just gives it that extra kick.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say
amazing.
within days, which is really beautiful because it would take a week at least for those ointments and things to work from the doctor. So I was pretty chuffed when something that I made worked within days.
Absolutely. And you just want to take it into your doctor and go, look what I made. Can't you offer this to everybody?
Exactly.
Yeah, so Anna, one of our other amazing oil educators here, she is a hairdresser or was a hairdresser by trade, and she experienced severe contact dermatitis. Her hands were just falling apart. She's got some photos, I think, here in this very group, which you can search for, and it shows her before and after. And like yourself, it was just a matter of days before she started seeing that clear right up, which is just profound. Like you said, you don't experience that with conventional products. Such a rapid transformation is really a sight to behold.
It is. It's really amazing. And like I keep saying, I'm going to keep saying this word, it's empowering. It's empowering that you can do that because it's something that you don't have to rely on the doctor for. There are plenty of things that conventional medicine are good for, but some things just, no, you can do it yourself.
And you can pay it forward as well. You're not going to pay it forward with a tube of steroid cream now, are you?
No. The only one that's getting paid in that scenario is the big pharma companies.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. So were there any other aspects or elements that you incorporated to help deal with the eczema situation?
I'd say the key thing would be, and I think we'll probably touch on this because you're really knowledgeable about this, is gut health. I think is really important. So the balm was a topical solution, but an actual a short-term solution, but the actual long-term solution was gut health. So I came to understand that I had allergies to dairy and gluten, which was why my skin kept breaking out. I used to get those little lumpy, like little white lumps on my hands, which was not pleasant. So I noticed when I changed my diet, it was a really big factor, and it was a very big game changer in the way that my skin was reacting. So I think that gut health is incredibly important because, and I don't get into the sciencey aspect of it. I know it just works because you're beautiful and you know everything about that. But I would say that gut health is super important because, you can, when there's something wrong with your gut, it comes out on your skin. It comes out in a multitude of ways and it's telling you that you need to address it. So
it's like a mirror of what's going on inside.
Oh, 100%. So I switched over to a whole food type diet. I don't know whether anyone's familiar with that, but whole food diet is really lovely because it's all just natural homemade foods. And keto worked really well as well for me. So they're probably two of the big ones that really changed for me and changed my skin.
Yeah, amazing. And I think probably now's a good time to just touch on the fact that, the conventional skincare products that we're all familiar with, such as the Chemist Warehouse range, for example, or all of those big fancy brands that have massive marketing budgets, all of those brands, the impact that they have when we're just using them on our skin, on our gut health and the rest of our body, our endocrine system, our reproductive organs, all of those things are affected by the products and the ingredients that are within those products. Our entire system is detrimental. Yeah, it's
the
impacted.
effects are amazing.
Which way?
So I don't know who's watching out there who might know my mum's Lordy Cincotta. You might see her pop up every once in a while. She's studying building biology. And the things that I have learned, that I am so grateful that I decided to switch over sooner rather than later to natural skincare, is just absolutely amazing. I think there's a statistic that a woman can put up to 515 chemicals on her body at any point, between deodorants, shampoos, body washes, skincare, toothpaste, like you name it, makeup. Like there's so many things that can affect, and like you said, they're endocrine disruptors. What else do they do?
Carcinogens.
Oh yeah, 100%. The fact that your toxic load is just insane. Like I said, up to 515 chemicals a day, and that's just because each product has multiple chemicals. And all these big companies, like you said, they don't actually have to list these. They can claim that it's a trade secret for their product, and they don't have to list the ingredient on the packaging. Yeah, so you think you're making a good choice, but you know, you're not having all the information to be able to make an informed choice.
No, that's right. And even if you just see the word fragrance written on the back of one of those products, that single word fragrance is often made of hundreds of unnamed chemicals, most of which are heavily damaging to our systems, yet they don't have to disclose that information to us, which is just complete, utter BS.
It is. It's astounding.
And so damaging for us.
It is. It really is. Like you can't even imagine what they would be putting in it, especially because they're not legally, they're not legally they don't legally have to.
And that's where taking back the power and exploring ways that we can make our own skincare or incorporate natural products wherever possible is just it's not just our skin that is reaping the benefits, it's our entire body as a whole organ that is experiencing the benefits of that.
Exactly. Well, our skin's our biggest organ, second biggest organ, and you really need to take care of it. And I think it's easy when we get busy, we can just say, oh no, like I'll take care of that tomorrow, or I'll do this another time. But it's actually really important because, like you said, it affects so many systems in our body.
Yeah, absolutely. Tash, have you ever used the EWG Skin Deep app or the Chemical Maze app? Are you one of those people that likes to scan their products when you're at the supermarket and investigate all the chemicals in it?
Yeah, so I actually, confession time, I don't go to the supermarket. So I'm fortunate enough that I live with my family. So my parents are lovely and they do most of the shopping. But secondly, we also shop at our local, organic, at our local organic food shops, like our food stores. It's called Terra Madre for some people that might be familiar with it. It's a really awesome place. Or we actually get a beautiful box of produce every week from some beautiful farmers out near Daylesford that's full of fruit and veg. Oh, actually veg, sorry, not fruit. So we're really fortunate that we buy those beautiful produce boxes and we're able to get really fresh food. So I don't, but I have heard of both of those. The Chemical Maze app is amazing, which that's a great resource to have. And you can I think we've got the book here at home, but we've got a friend that's got the app. And the EWG website is really fascinating, that they've been around for so long and they're unfunded. So it's amazing the resources that they've got, and they're just about to launch, I think, is it for home? They've already got something for makeup, which is, like you said, the Skin Deep. Yep. But they're actually going to launch something for products in the home.
Yes. Yeah.
They're actually launching like a new search engine. So it'll be really amazing. That's a beautiful resource to go to, Beck.
Yeah, yeah. And if you are somebody that is going to the supermarket, I mean, I go there purely as an observer. I find it fascinating.
It's really overwhelming. I get freaked out with all the lights and all the choices on the shelves.
Oh, look, I do too, and I hold my breath when I'm going down the laundry aisle and all those things, but I am still drawn to, I cannot help myself. I need to take photos of the backs of products. I need to put them into my chemical maze apps and all those things just to arm myself with that information, because information is education and education is empowerment, right? So the more knowledge that we have about what is hidden in these products and what we're using, what many people are still using in their homes, it only allows us to share that information with more people. So that's why I like going to the supermarket.
It's like it's an excursion.
It is. Yeah, so Tammy Louise is just saying, yes, trade secret laws, crazy. The things we put on our skin directly enter our bloodstream and we must be careful. Totally, 100%. Yeah, you're very lucky and you're doing such wonderful things by eating clean food straight from the farmer. All of that, as you said, is reducing a toxic load and it's helping your skin thrive from the inside out.
Yeah, exactly.
So walk us through what your current skincare regime looks like as it stands right now. Does it change at all? Do you go through different patterns and phases?
Yeah, I do. So I've got a few non-negotiables that I like to do morning and night, but you know, because I'm so fascinated by homemade skincare, I will be testing things out, or you know, I will test to see how it reacts on my skin before I recommend it to someone else. So sometimes it can be a crazy week putting so many things on my body. But I would say in the morning, the only thing I really do is I splash some cold water on my face because it's going to wake me up, it's going to tighten my pores, and it's honestly the easiest thing in the world to do, especially in the morning because everybody's rushing and we've got to get places. And then after that, I will just grab whichever roller balls I'm using for that week or that month, and I'll just roll some of the beautiful doTERRA Touch oils on my face. Because that's actually protecting my skin and it's getting it really set up for the day and it's nourishing and moisturizing. So I started off with lavender and frankincense when I first started up with doTERRA. They were the two touches that I bought that were really amazing for my skin because they were soothing and they were nourishing, and they help with some of these lines. You know, got big laugh lines, so got to keep those in check. And and now I've moved on to some of the more expensive oils because last month on my LRP, I decided to spend a whole heap of points to celebrate my birthday. So I bought myself a Cellubel roller and a rose roller, which was really exciting. So yeah, I'm really thankful that doTERRA gives us that recourse to be able to kind of you know, make those choices.
Oils.
Yes, 100%. So I'll do that, and then throughout the day, all I'll do is pop some lip balm on my lips. It's super easy. I will use, it just generally depends because I like to switch it up to keep my skin guessing and my lips guessing, but I usually use either something that I've made or the doTERRA lip balm's really nice as well, I found. I was a bit hesitant to use it at the start because I was so used to making my own, but sometimes it's nice to just have a little chapstick as opposed to having to, you know, scoop out of a jar or something like that. It gets a bit messy sometimes.
Yeah.
And then at night is when I do my oil cleansing, which I'll explain in a second.
Yeah.
And then I'll pop some oils all over my body. So I know a lot of people aerobatically dress in the morning, but I'm just too lazy for that. And I'm always in a rush because I try and get as much sleep as possible. So I'll do it in the evening, and it's just a nice treat to treat myself after a long day. It also means I can use citrus oils because I really love my citrus oils, and because they're photosensitive, I don't want to be going out into this weather and having any adverse reactions on my skin.
Beautiful reminder. So in the morning, if you're really using the rollers of frankincense and lavender on your skin, that's really all you're putting on. Splash with water.
It's basic. That is it.
Yeah,
100%.
So guys, the simplicity of that. So all the need that we must have like 5 different products, a 5-step regime happening each and every day. That's a lie. You don't need that.
That's lies, dirty lies. I don't care whether so I'm 26. I don't care whether you're in your 20s, you're in your 40s, you're in your 70s. You don't need a whole platoon of products for your skin. We've got beautiful products in doTERRA. We can, take care of our skin ourselves. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're using the right oils, but you definitely can. It's as simple as that. We've been lied to by, big beauty companies and marketing, and we've been brainwashed. You don't need all that. Water and oils, carrier oil, which I'll explain to do your oil cleansing. That's really about it. Beautiful oil for your body and you're set.
Okay, amazing. So you're not using a toner currently? You don't feel the need for a toner? I know not everybody's skin feels the need for a toner.
No, I don't
Yep.
use a toner on my skin. I have tried though, when I was first starting in natural skincare and homemade skincare, I tried apple cider vinegar,
Yep.
which was interesting. It's beautiful because it's a natural toner, but if you sweat, you start to smell like apple cider vinegar. So that was an experiment that I've done. So please don't use apple cider vinegar on your face as a toner. Just use witch hazel. That's all you need.
Yep. And really, if you're using lavender on your skin in the form of a roller, I mean, lavender is in itself a natural toner. It's got those astringent qualities in there, so you're really getting it anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Lavenders are non-negotiable.
Yeah, I understand. And for redness specifically, lavender is wonderful for helping redness. Yeah. So walk us through oil cleansing. Tell us what the F oil cleansing is. Enlighten us all.
Yes, the insanity that is oil cleansing. I'm demystifying it for you all. So oil cleansing is you take a carrier oil. I'll be talking about two, jojoba or rosehip in a second, but I'll talk about the general process first. So oil cleansing is where you'll use a carrier oil, which you can then add your essential oils to, like your lavender and your frankincense. And basically all you're going to do is you're going to massage it into your face, and you're going to get a washcloth or a flannel or whatever it is that you've got on hand, some sort of face cloth. You're going to wet it with hot to warm water, not too hot, obviously, because we don't want to, exacerbate the redness. And you're just going to pop that cloth on your face after you've massaged the oil into your skin for about a minute, or you can do it for about 30 seconds, just depending on how much time you have. And when you're popping that hot washcloth in your face, you're steaming it open, almost like you're giving yourself a little mini facial. And you're letting the oils get in there and, work their magic so you can have really lovely, beautiful, healthy skin. And the reason why I chose oil cleansing, I should probably have started with that, is that it actually helps to balance the sebum production in your skin, so the oil production. So if you are like me and you have oily skin and you overproduce oil, it's going to help balance it. So it brings it back a little bit and you're not overproducing that oil. Whereas if you've got dry skin, it's going to help to promote to produce a little bit more oil, so your skin is feeling a bit more nourished and moisturized. So it's almost like a little, it's a skin hack. So that's, it's a little skin hack, because particularly jojoba oil, it actually mimics the oil produced in your skin. It's the closest thing you can get to the oil produced by your skin. So if you're using jojoba oil, you're actually tricking your skin into thinking it's already produced the oil, and that's why it won't produce more.
Yeah, so that's the most common fear that we hear from people when they're hesitant to try oil cleansing. They think they're going to end up like an oil slick, which just isn't the case, as Tash described.
No, so it's not that at all. So you literally, all you have to do is massage it into your face once a day. If you're finding that your skin's not reacting particularly well to it, just bring it back and only do it a few times a week. That's all that needs to be done. But oil cleansing can work for everybody. It's just a matter of figuring out how often and which oil. And like you said, Becca, it's not going to make your face oily. Oh, yes. Okay. So I'm just going to talk about the two main ones that I like that are mostly readily available. So you've got jojoba, which, like I said, is the oil that mimics the most natural oil production from our skin. Because about 30% of our, I'm bringing out the facts, 30% of the oil produced from our skin, it's almost like a wax. And jojoba is technically produced from a wax. So it's on par with that. And it's going to be the most natural transition for your skin. So that's why they call it the universal carrier oil. And it's also very easy to find. I would say that it's great for skin issues like eczema, redness. It's got a whole bunch of vitamins in there. I'm trying to think which vitamins they are. I think it's like A, D, and possibly E. And it helps also create that beautiful barrier for your skin to protect against damage and the elements, because we're going indoors, outdoors, air conditioned, heated, sun, wind, rain. So you really do have to be mindful of that. And then you've got rosehip oil, which is really lovely. That's more if you have skincare concerns such as like acne, scarring, skin pigmentation issues that you're concerned about. For a short time, I used it to help with the rosacea, which was really lovely. And that's really good because it also is great for mature skin if you're concerned about things like anti-aging and fine lines and all sorts of things like that, then rosehip is probably the best one to use.
Yeah. Rosehip was my favorite, but when I was just beginning my transition over from conventional acne care products through to natural ones, it was rosehip that I was using the most on my skin because it had such a nourishing and anti-inflammatory effect for me. And I paired it with a non-doTERRA lavender oil at the time. And that did a lot of,
You know, it's really amazing.
So
and
let's say that
I would
you
say...
have...
Oh, no, sorry, what were you going to say? No, I was just going to say the only difference that I would...
There's a little bit of a delay here.
Okay, off to you, Beck.
No, that's fine. But let's say that you have dry skin, would you still be recommending jojoba because it's universal, or is there another essential oil that perhaps you would make reference to?
Yep, I would say jojoba is a good place to start for everybody, and I've heard people who have had dry skin that have used jojoba. If you are concerned though that you like might be a bit too oily, I have heard that avocado oil worked really well as a carrier oil. You'd have to obviously contend with the fact that it would have a slight scent to it, but it wouldn't really have that much of a scent. So you would be fine with avocado. I'm pretty sure it's avocado oil.
Yep.
I've not had any test subjects with dry skin yet, so this is all purely research with the avocado oil.
No, that's okay. So a comment that I heard recently was that somebody was doing oil cleansing and they were feeling quite oily as a result of that. And what I would say to that, and you'll probably have your thoughts on this as well, is that it's probably just a case that you haven't nailed the right carrier for your skin type. And it would be wise to just experiment with a few out there, such as the avocado oil, the wheat germ, the rosehip, and just keep on trying with a different carrier oil until you come across the right carrier for your skin type. Would you say, Tash?
Yeah, definitely, I would. So I've just given you two options that are probably the easiest to find, and they're also probably the most universal, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be a one-size-fits-all situation. So yeah, I would say start with those, and then you can build your way up to something else.
Yeah. Beautiful. Okay, so when we're talking about essential oils for dry skin, what essential oils would you recommend?
Ooh, that's a tough one. Honestly, I really love... It's hard to pick. Okay. I don't know. I would say frankincense is good for everybody. I don't think I would say no to frankincense for anybody. With lavender, it just depends. If you've got dry skin, but you've also got like redness in your skin, you might want to consider putting a little bit of lavender, but not too much. What else could you put? Geranium's a really nice oil for your face. It's got a beautiful, not only has it got a beautiful fragrance, but it's going to help. There's also a whole heap of, I think you mentioned once, Beck, what was it? Clary sage, possibly, that you used on your skin?
I don't know if it was clary sage. I use a lot of yarrow pom and rose on my skin.
Oh, nice. Yarrow pom's a good one for eczema as well as dry skin.
So
I just don't, it's not the first one that pops to mind.
I can't remember what the other one is that you might be thinking of. Yarrow is probably my hot favorite at the moment.
Yeah. Look, it's amazing, but I just don't...
on my neck.
Yeah, I know, just all that, just everywhere, just blue like a Smurf. No, I just, because it's such a new product, I still, I use it sometimes, but I actually just don't think of it like straight off the bat, because I generally will always go for those home essential kit oils because they're just the most readily available. But hopefully yarrow pom's coming to Australian shores soon.
Yeah, no, that's a wise choice. Starting and sticking with the most available, accessible, and affordable oils for most people. That's cool. That's very cool. One thing I will say about rose, one of the reasons why I love it is that it enhances the absorption of all the other oils that it's paired with. So rose is great if you want to increase the permeability and absorption of whatever it is that you're trying to remedy by way of essential oils. But bear in mind though that that the same rule goes for if you're applying something toxic to your skin. Rose is going to enhance the absorbability of whatever that chemical is. So it goes both ways.
Yeah, no, exactly. I would say, yeah, it's, and on, you know, the point of the vanity, it also gives you a beautiful glow. If you can see that, that's not just the light overhead, that's also the rose working its magic.
Yeah, it's got such a nourishing property and effect on the skin. Yeah, and you're right. If you're somebody that likes dewy skin and you like that little sheen, then rose is fabulous. And what about oily skin? Let's talk about some great essential oils for oily skin.
Oof. Okay. So I would say tea tree, even if you've got sensitive skin, try and just incorporate a smidge, just one drop in, you know, a big bunch of product will be fine. I've probably got the most reactive skin of anybody that I've ever met in my life. So if I can do one drop, you guys can do one drop too. One drop at a time. And then I would say lavender is really lovely. Like you said, Beck, it can almost, you know, it's got those beautiful properties in it that's really soothing, but it also makes it kind of, I don't know what the word is, I'm thinking of it. It's similar in quality, like you said, to a toner. So you're not going to have to worry about it getting too oily.
Qualities.
Yeah, that's the word. Thank you. Astringent qualities. And I would say
which just means tight, really. That's really all it means.
Yeah. I would also say put frankincense in anything that you make, because not only is it great for your skin, but it also just really amplifies the power of the other oils that you're incorporating. So I always like to think of frankincense as that little like one person cheer squad, like that friend that you've got that's always just super empowering and super positive and always just making you think that you can do anything. That's frankincense.
That's cute. I really like that. One of the other oils that I love is juniper berry, because I was just going to say juniper berry is a fabulous for, oh gosh, we do have a really rotten delay here. Well, I do at my end anyway, that's fine. So juniper berry for actually for all skin types, but particularly for mature skin, it increases the elastin content, helps boost elastin production in the skin. So that's a great one to pair particularly with frankincense for mature or aging skin.
Yeah, no, look, I've heard that it's amazing for skin, but I'm actually really scared. I had a bad reaction to a product with juniper in it, the juniper berry oil. So I actually am just a bit too afraid to go near it right now. But it would be great for everyone's skin. But mask? Yes, 100%. So I put like this really beautiful thin layer, and I'm just sitting there and my face is getting really hot, and I was like, oh, what's happening? And I took it off and it looked like I had sunburn. And I was just rubbing all the nourishing oils I could think of on my face to try and get at least the heat to go down. So that's why I'm probably a bit more cautious when it comes to juniper berry. But I don't know, did you say you've personally used juniper berry?
Yeah, I love it, and I don't have an issue with it. It's never reacted with me. I'm not actually sure. So with that detoxing mask, that's actually it was something that was coming up for a few people, and what we think it was more due to was the clay content. So that the active ingredient, which is the clay in it, that was causing people to react. And the other factor that you've got to be careful of with the detoxing mask is that it needs to be a super thin layer. This isn't a mask that you trowel onto your skin, so you've got a big thick layer. It's just to smear it over like a gentle spread of Vegemite on a piece of toast, and that's enough. Anything more than that, and you tend to react, because it is really powerful.
Well, I've used it a second time, and I just put it on for a lesser amount of time, and it was fine. So I think that was just more the time as opposed to the product. But generally, I stick with I make my own skin masks, my own face masks. I just buy the natural clays and I just make them myself, and then I add oils. So more of that.
Amazing. Hold that thought. There's something that I want to talk about before that. So we just mentioned that you obviously had a reaction to juniper or the detoxing mud mask. Is there any cautions, or is there anything that we need to be mindful of when we're using essential oils on our skin that you'd like to just put forward as a little safety note?
Yep. I'd say dilution. So always make sure you use them with a carrier oil. Don't put them neat on your skin. I think I really like the way you said it once in a post, Beck. You said, don't be a cowboy. Like, we can tend to be cowboys when we get too comfortable with our oils. So I would say always pair it with either, you know, some sort of balm or cream, or carrier oil would be really amazing. You also should be mindful of dilution rates. So less is more, and just be mindful of the fact that, you know, if you've got a 30 ml bottle, don't go and put, you know, 70 and 80 drops of essential oil. That's way too much. You're going to want to put, I'm very conservative. I put 20 or less drops of oil in a 30 ml container of carrier oil, or a bottle of carrier oil. So I'm always like, just be a bit more conservative, and you can always add more later. Oil photosensitivity. So make sure you're careful if you're wanting to make your own skincare products. If you're adding citrus oils, make sure you don't go out into direct sunlight, because then you're going to get that kind of that sunburn effect, which is a shame, because I love citrus oils, which is, like I said, I use them at night as opposed to in my morning or daytime routine. And if you're looking to buy the natural products yourselves, like the butters and the waxes, just make sure that they're organic, and that they're cold pressed and unrefined, because if they're not cold pressed and unrefined, they're going to go through a treatment process, and it's usually a heat treatment process. So that's actually going to change it's going to change the chemical makeup, and it's going to change the components in the wax or the butter, similar to essential oils, which is why we don't heat them up.
I love that.
So you want to make sure that it's the most natural product that you're putting on your skin. I think that's probably about it.
I was just going to say, would you say the same thing for avoiding vegetable oils? So you wouldn't use something like canola or sunflower on your face, because they are refined and incredibly inflammatory. Is that something that you would second?
Oh, yeah. So I'm just talking about the oils you can use. Yeah, I didn't even think about the oils that you should use. So I would say vegetable oils, because like Beck said, they're highly refined. Also, same thing as the butters and the waxes. You want something, just because they're, you know, a jojoba or a rose hip, doesn't mean that they're going to be good to put on your skin. You've got to make sure that they're organic or that they're cold pressed, because again, you don't want them to go through those treatment processes that take out all the beautiful natural properties, and you're just left with, I suppose you could say, like the junk that's still left in there. I mean, I know that I went to even the health food store because I'd run out of jojoba oil, and I bought a bottle and I had to take it back because it didn't smell right. It was, you can tell the difference. Yeah, you really can tell the difference. So make sure you...
Yeah, the same thing can happen with coconut oil. No, it's okay. So the same, when coconut oil should smell sweet and nutty. It shouldn't have this underlying rancid odor. And when you can smell that, just give it back to wherever you got it from. It's rancid. It's gone. It's no good.
Exactly. Don't persevere with that one. Just let it go. Let it go.
No. Let it go. Yeah, no, there's some great tips there. Lottie is just saying that the first thing that comes to mind with a detox mask is the clay, and that there may be an issue with heavy metals and potentially contamination depending on the source. She would be interested to see what doTERRA come back with. Tammy Louise, any thoughts? So yeah, it's a really good point. Clay is, depending on where the clay is sourced from, that can be a really important factor. So if somebody wants to reach out to product support and see what we can find out there, by all means. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So when you're making your own DIY clay masks, walk us through a basic recipe that maybe would be suitable for most skin types.
Okay, so there's this really amazing website called the Biome website. They're up from Queensland. They're like they're a low tox, kind of low waste or zero waste company. Like, even when they ship the products down, they don't use bubble wrap and all sorts of things. They just use cardboard, and that all your products come in glass jars, which is really amazing. So I went online, and I jumped on and I thought about what my skincare concerns. So I have obviously oily skin. I had issues with my pores as well. So they have some really beautiful information on the website. So when you jump on, they've got at least a dozen different clays, and you can choose from there which ones work for you. So I like using they've got activated charcoal, which is really amazing for my skin. Because I like that it gives my skin a little bit of a detox every once in a while if I've been a bit naughty and I've not been sticking to eating well. It also helps tighten my pores up, which is really beautiful. What other clays do I use? Probably either a pink, I would say pink clay would be really nice. You see them, they're always marketed on Facebook. You see the ads pop up for the, the Australian pink clay. But these ones are actually really supernatural. I really trust the Biome website because of their sourcing. It's pretty much, they're very diligent about that. So you would just get it's just a little jar, like 50 grams, and you get the powder or the clay in there. And all you have to do is pop in a spoonful and just add some water to it. And then I can always add like a drop of lavender or a drop of geranium to it if I like, if I wanted to amp it up a little bit with essential oils. And then I'm just going to pop it on my face, and it just takes about 15 minutes. And then I just wash it straight off. And I know that I'm using natural, the most natural product that I can. So it's as simple as that. I know that you can use seaweed if you're, I think it was for dry skin or dull looking skin. They've got green clays, they've got yellow clays, they've got all sorts of clays you can think of.
Yeah, I use bentonite clay for my masks. Funny story. I actually use the detoxing mud mask from doTERRA for my armpits. I do a regular monthly armpit detox using that, and it works a treat.
I've heard people do that.
It's great. Anyway, that's by the by. So when I make my mud mask, what I use is bentonite clay, and you can just get a huge big tub for I don't know, it's pretty cheap, and it's
fairly inexpensive,
Yeah, it's food grade as well. So if you do want to give yourself a good clean out on the inside, then you can do that also. And this is one that has been tested for heavy metals, just as an FYI. And I just mix it with turmeric. So the turmeric powder plus the turmeric essential oil and a little bit of apple cider vinegar and honey. And that tends to work a treat for me.
Oh, lovely. That sounds awesome. Yeah, bentonite clay is really lovely. It pairs really well with a lot of the other clays, so you can always buy, like, start with bentonite like Beck has, and if you wanting to be a bit more adventurous, you can go for the pink clays and the activated charcoals and the green and the seaweed. It's really fascinating, and it's actually really cost effective. Like Beck said, you can buy the powder and it goes such a long way, as opposed to buying a tub that has you get to the bottom and you've got to go buy another expensive tub and you don't know what's in it.
No, that's right. So I'm just going to read Tammy's comment here because it's really interesting, just on the subject of the seaweed. So she said that it would be interesting to see if clay behaves much like seaweed. Seaweed are the filters of the ocean and mop up toxins. However, naturopaths are divided as to whether they are released in the body when eaten or in fact mop up metals in the body too. She'd love to see the science on the too. So, this is juicy. I like this stuff. Please.
I know, these are some good questions. Building biology ladies out there.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry, we're going to get one of them on a call soon.
Really making my brain work today.
It's too late for that, isn't it? And Tammy's also saying that bentonite clay is amazingly tested. If you buy the right brands, it will be organic and free of heavy metals in most cases. So yeah, that's great. Awesome. All right, Tash, that's great. I love hearing about your mud masks there. Okay, so we've talked a little bit about safety. We've touched on eczema and dermatitis. That's fabulous. Why am I running out of power when I'm charged in? That should not be happening. That's okay.
Oh my gosh.
It's all right. We're working through this. Okay. Tash, do you use any of doTERRA's pre-made, ready to purchase products? And if so, what are they?
Okay. So like I've said before, Correct-X is really amazing. Really love that. I mean, I use it as lip balm and for my eczema all at the same time, which is awesome. The lip balm I've been using the tropical one at the moment, which is really nice. I got that in the Tara Bliss's box, which was really cool.
Oh, yes.
But in terms of the actual skincare products, I use the HD Clear, the topical roller. I found has been really amazing. I like the fact that it's got a blend of oils that you can use as a topical spot treatment. And then I'll switch it out with tea tree every once in a while, just so my skin doesn't get too used to it, the tea tree touch roller. So the HD Clear range,
so whilst you're just talking
really
about
good.
swapping it up. Sorry. Whilst you're talking about swapping it up,
delay.
Why do we want to keep our skin? I know. Why do we want to keep our skin guessing? Why are you swapping up the oils? Just let everybody know.
Yep. So in terms of like long-term use of oils, I know for my skin personally, it, like I said, it's not exactly scientific, but my skin gets like too used to a certain oil and I just feel like it's not as effective. But I do know
Sure.
that in terms of skin sensitivities as well, if you use an oil long term, it can actually, I think Beck, you did a post on this about skin sensitivity and the fact that long term use, and that's why you've got to switch it up every once in a while.
Yep. Yep.
So that's why I would say switch it up,
because then obviously different chemical constituents.
Yes. Sorry, I don't mean to talk over you.
No, you're not. It's okay. It's fine. So all I was going to say was that because different essential oils obviously have different chemical constituents, keeping your skin guessing by rotating those chemical constituents is more likely to prevent any kind of skin sensitivity occurring.
Yes, thank you. I just say it's magic and just switch it up every once in a while. I don't exactly have a scientific explanation.
Because you're going by feeling and intuition, and that's so incredibly important.
Yeah.
Because really, that's how most people are going to be treating their skin, or that's how we want them to treat their skin. When we're in touch with our bodies and we're in tune with both what's happening on the inside and the outside, then we can make those decisions, those educated decisions about what our skin needs.
Exactly, 100%.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so I want to talk about acne, because this is a subject close to my heart as well as So let's talk about your acne past situation and what you personally did to resolve that, and I'll talk a little bit about mine.
Okay. So in terms of acne, I think, and my situation, I think the term pizza face would be a really apt description. Like, I had acne everywhere. Obviously I wear glasses, so I would get a lot of blackheads and whiteheads all along where the arms of my glasses sat. My T-zone, like many people, was particularly oily, but I also get them on my cheeks. So it was really frustrating and along my jawline. So at the moment, you probably can't see that well. I do have a few stubborn little ones that just won't leave my chin, but that's just because I'm still experimenting with oils. Yes, thank you. I'm so glad. Join the club. But so there's a few, like, I'm not saying my skin's 100% perfect, but it's probably 100% perfect from where I was to where I am now. So it's just about progress and just making changes. As I said, oil cleansing really changed, really revolutionized my skin. And I don't think I talked about why I choose it as opposed to a soap-based cleanser. So with oil cleansing, it actually is just, as I said, balancing the oil production in your skin, whereas a soap-based cleanser is just decimating any oil production, as well as decimating the good and bad bacteria on your skin, which is why you'll see there are certain brands coming out with like probiotic skincare, which is really fascinating because there's good and bad bacteria on our skin, and the bad bacteria is obviously... Yes, 100%. The smelly face apple cider vinegar. So with a soap-based cleanser, you're basically... Yeah. So basically just decimating everything. Whereas oil cleansing, it's a bit more, I don't know what, maybe the word intelligent is what I would use, in terms of actually just helps balance everything as opposed to just going in and decimating everything and having to start from scratch. Which is why when you use a soap-based cleanser, you have to have so many steps involved in your skincare routine. Whereas with the oil cleansing, all I do is I cleanse my face with the oil, and then if I feel like it, I will just add some, or not if I feel like it, I do, but if you feel like it, you can just add some rollers, some like pre-diluted rollers to your moisturization. So that's really why it changed my skin, because it wasn't as up and down. It's actually really just become really nice and even, in terms of the fact that I have more good days than I have bad days. And then I throw in a little face scrub every once in a while, probably every couple of weeks or so. I just like to whip up a little scrub with stuff that I have in the cupboard. And then that really takes care of my skin, which you're probably all thinking that that's crazy and way too simple, but that's actually the way it should be. We shouldn't have to spend hours on end with our skin. You know, a mask every month, you know, a scrub every couple of weeks, and cleansing your face every other day with oil is a beautiful way to just make sure that your taking care of your skin as naturally as possible.
Yeah, and you save a lot of money in the process because you no longer need any of those beauty counter products.
Oh, exactly, 100%. And I'm very mindful of that. I don't know who out there knows me, but I'm a student, so I'm also mindful of the cost factor because, you know, as a student, I don't get to work full time and I don't have a disposable income.
No, budget friendly is excellent. Hey, we've got Carly asking if you can oil cleanse to remove makeup.
100%, yes. So I always forget that you can do that just because I'm lazy and I don't wear makeup for the most part. But yes, you can. So what I would say is you can oil cleanse, you know, obviously when you get home at the end of the day or whatever it is, you just basically, as I said, you just massage the oil into your face. You're going to pop that warm washcloth on your face a couple of times. And then once you wipe all that residue off, that's actually going to be wiping off all your makeup. And you can do that. You can oil cleanse one time, or if you've got really heavy duty makeup on, you could probably oil cleanse twice. You could do the routine twice. If you're really concerned about just wanting to get everything off.
I actually love, when it comes to removing mascara or eye makeup, fractionated coconut oil, guys, that's all you need. Just put it on a face cloth or a wet rag of some sort. Just wipe it off. that's all you need.
Yeah, no, and I've got this really amazing. Yeah, no, and it's really amazing. My brother, his ex-girlfriend was a special effects makeup artist, so she used the most heavy-duty makeup out there imaginable, and she forgot all her stuff one day, and she said to me, "Do you have anything to get this eyeliner off or this mascara off?" Fractionated coconut oil.
Yep. Works a treat, guys. 100%. Works a treat. Doesn't need to be complicated. All right. So for you described through your acne situation. How long did it take for you to see a transition or improvement?
I'd say within the week, but with oil cleansing, everybody's different. So it could take a few days. It could take up to 2 weeks. Generally, there's a 2-week period, they say. And if anything happens before that, then that's just a bonus. So for me, it was a bonus. It happened within a week. I know, for instance, Adele, she's a recent convert to oil cleansing, and she was very trusting and just went out and bought the jojoba and just went for it. And she didn't have any adverse reactions. She didn't have the detox period. Sometimes your skin can go through a bit of a detox, especially if you're moving from conventional skincare products straight to oil cleansing. Oh, sorry. So if you're going from a conventional product straight to oil cleansing, you can have a little bit of a detox period. But that'll only be up to 2 weeks. But I've never heard of anyone that it lasted that long.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. So I guess my situation looks a little bit different. I too remember actually being called or yelled pizza face across the quadrangle at school on multiple occasions, which was just charming. Kids.
That's horrifying. I'm so sorry I said that word.
No, that's all right. No, it's fine. It's all part of the journey, right? So I had severe cystic acne, and it wasn't just on my face, it was on my chest and on my back as well. And that was all the way through up until late year 10. And my mother took the route of taking me to a dermatologist, and firstly I went to a doctor and I tried triclocycline, I think it is from memory. It's an antibiotic anyway. I don't think I'm pronouncing it right, but maybe somebody here knows what I'm talking about. Triclosan, I don't know. Anyway, so antibiotics first, that did nothing. The pill, we all know what that does. That does sweet jackal.
No, I watched the video last week. No.
And then it was to a dermatologist where they put me on Roaccutane. Now, Roaccutane is harsh. It is way harsh, and it is just flat out dangerous. For me, what it resulted in is that it turned my face into just cracks is the best way to describe it. It was a bleeding, cracking mess. It was so dry because basically it's high dose vitamin A, retinol, and that dries out your skin. It's supposed to kill off and close your oil pore, your oil production, just shut the whole process down. And so that leaves you with really, really dry skin. At the same time, though, it destroys your blood capillaries and blood vessels. It starts weakening the walls. So what you end up with, well, in my situation, cascades of blood noses that just would not stop, to the point that there were several occasions where I would be in emergency with tampons shoved up my nose because the blood just kept on coming out, just wouldn't stop. So Roaccutane is nasty. I stuck out 2 courses of that, and both times it came back. Not once did anybody say anything about what is your diet like. what are you eating? What are you putting on your skin? There was none of that.
None of that.
That was not a conversation.
No, just use more drugs and more dangerous stuff on your face.
Yeah, exactly. You know, being at your wit's end after 2 courses of Roaccutane and still having the situation there. Yeah, Tammy's saying she was on Roaccutane too. I knew that I needed to take a different route, and that route was going to be a holistic approach for the first time ever. And that was the first time anybody ever asked what I was eating and the impact that diet had on the health of our skin. So that was the very first time that I went gluten, sugar and dairy free. And for me, I saw a clear up within 3 months just by removing those foods from my diet, focusing on hydration, looking after the health of my gut. I took a purely nutritional approach, and what I was left over with was a bucket load of scars. It was just a big scarry mess. And that's where the oils came in. Absolutely amazing help, particularly the Cellubel blend, the frankincense and lavender. They were probably the 3 oils that I got started with the oil cleansing. And I managed to clear up a lot of those scars. So that's a bit about me.
No, that's really amazing, Becca, and it's good to hear like both sides. So you're talking about diet and you know, the topical approach. It's really amazing because you want to take that balanced approach for a long-term solution.
Yep. Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're struggling to get solutions through whatever measures you're taking topically, then you need to start addressing potential changes in your lifestyle and diet, even just increasing your hydration. That can have dramatic impacts for a lot of people, but often it's an inflammatory situation whereby if we can just remove some of those trigger foods that are creating those antigens, then yeah, as Adele's saying, it always comes from the gut. Oh, sorry, I didn't read her first comment. Does acne in different places of the body indicate something? Yes. So jawline, hormonal, most likely related. If you've got it showing up here, up there. And there's actually a Chinese face chart that you can download just off Google, and it will tell you what acne on different parts of your body corresponds to in terms of your organs and dysfunction within those organs, which is really fascinating. So generally, if you've got acne along your jawline, it's a surefire sign that you've got some kind of hormonal dysfunction, which we can correct, right? Because we have oils.
Exactly.
Yeah, so Tammy's just saying triclosan is horribly nasty. It shouldn't be used in any of our products. It's got lots of data saying we shouldn't be putting it in our hand washes, let alone on our sensitive face. Yeah, that's very, very true. It's not nice. All right, so the products that I used to take care of the scarring side of things was just the oil cleansing like Tash mentioned, and going after those skin nourishing oils such as the Cellubel, lavender and the frankincense. That was what worked wonders for me. And Tash, you mentioned that you had keloid scars, and you also mentioned Correctex. So Correctex, yes, that's a topical solution, but with keloid it's far more tissue related, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. So I actually have oh, sorry, no, please keep going, Beck.
No, I was just going to say you need to break down the tight tissues that have contracted.
Yeah, 100%. So it's an I was talking to a family friend of ours that was a nurse for about 2 decades, and she's like, you know what? She goes, why don't we see it as a positive thing? It means that you've got an overproduction of collagen. And I was like, that's great. I love you. Thank you so much for trying to get me to see a positive outlook. But like you said, it's the tightening. So I had acne that then inverted itself, and it actually created these lumps on my skin, and it's just this really tight tissue that's like really tight and nasty, that's really itchy as well and just unsightly. Like I said, I've not possibly been brave enough to actually attempt to deal with them with oils just yet, in terms of like actually finding a solution for them. But that will be something that I'm looking into this year. That's something that's on my list that I want to really tackle and be brave about. So I'm hoping to launch a website next month, and I'm also kind of started up a Facebook page. So I'm happy if anyone's worried about keloid scarring. I'm happy to do some research and look into it and test some things on myself first. And if they work, then I can let people know because it's really debilitating, especially if you have them all over your body. It's really terrifying. Well, not terrifying, that is a bit extreme. But yeah, it's really debilitating and they're unsightly and it makes you feel really self-conscious.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think that would be amazing, Tash, and I'm sure you can support a lot of people with whatever information you find out during your human guinea pig trials, if you would be willing
that's
to.
Kind of the way yeah, it's kind of the way I see it. You know, if it works for me, I'm happy. If it's safe enough for me to use, then I'm happy to just share it and just let people know what's happening.
Yeah, I think that would be amazing. The ones that spring to mind for me are blue tansy, the yarrow pom, definitely the salvia bell and rose as well, and probably a juniper berry as well. They're the ones that maybe start going down the research hole with those and see what you uncover. Okay, so okay, no worries. Awesome. Yep. So you've got Kim saying she would love to learn more about keloid scarring, Tash. So you've got a a little cheerleader on the side. Do it. Okay. So a couple of other last questions. Do you have any other tools that you like using on your skin? Jade rollers, for example, that all the rage at the moment. Is that something that you use at all in your regime?
Yeah. Yep, so I do use a face roller. I'm all about natural and simple, and I've been seeing them for quite a while around, and everyone's promoting them, and like Beck said, they're kind of all the rage right now. They're the, tool du jour. So I actually got a beautiful rose quartz roller as a gift. Actually, I've got it here. Hold on one second. Show and tell time.
Yeah, take it through an action as well. That's how you use it.
Okay. So this is the rose quartz one, but like you said, you can get jade ones. You can also get amethyst rollers. So they're all really lovely, and I've been doing a little bit of looking into them, and I was umming and ahhing, and then I finally got it as a gift. So the easiest way I can explain what it is it's basically like giving your face a dry body brush. I know we've talked a lot about dry body brushing on some of our pages, Life Essentials and everything. So dry body brushing is really good for your skin, and this is also really great because it's going to help soothe your skin. It's going to help reduce the inflammation and some of that puffiness, especially when you first wake up, I've just started incorporating this in the morning. And it comes with a beautiful little chart, and if you follow that chart, you're actually helping promote the circulation in your skin and reduce some of that puffiness. And I did read in the little that I got. Oh yes, I was same wavelength. Yeah, so basically dry body brushing and the rollers it's all about lymphatic drainage.
Yeah.
So I won't do a live demo, but basically, sorry.
Keep going.
Yep. So basically, obviously, you're going to use like the larger part on the larger portions of your face, and then I just use this little bit here around my nose, around my mouth, and underneath my eyes. But just be really careful. It obviously does recommend in the pamphlet that you actually just press it underneath your eyes as opposed to like rolling and pulling, because the skin's so delicate underneath your eyes, so you're not going to want to do that. But like I said, and even if you put it in the fridge, it actually creates that really lovely cooling effect that, like I said, it helps reduce some of that puffiness.
Yeah, beautiful. And where do you get them from, Kim? Kim is asking, where do you get them from? Tash.
Okay, so I was, like I said, I was lucky enough to get mine as a gift. I think there's a small company called Bopo that's selling them. They sell the rose and the amethyst ones at the moment. They're just a small company that are all about body positivity, which is why they're called Bopo. I think if you check Nourish Life, possibly, I don't know. I know they sell derma rollers. They might also be selling the jade and the stone rollers as well. So if you check the Nourish Life website, they've generally got most things on there.
Yeah. Okay. Terrific. And Tash, you mentioned just quickly the eye area. Same goes for when you're drying your skin with a towel. So you always want to dab around your eyes. You don't want to drag or pull because it's such sensitive and fragile skin around that area. Any pulling or dragging is just going to enhance the aging process.
100%. We want to keep this looking like this as long as possible.
Yep, exactly. And same goes for the neck. So I actually didn't know this, but after seeing one of Ange Peter's Whole Fit posts about skincare, this is something that she got pulled up on as well. When it comes to caring for our neck, we always massage up instead of down for much the same reason. We don't want to enhance the effects of gravity by massaging down our neck. We want to defy gravity and push it all back
exactly,
up again.
100%. No, exactly. So yeah, it's always gentle. And when I'm talking about oil cleansing and massaging things into your face, I'm always meaning in a very gentle, kind manner. So you're going to go like this as opposed to like this. And like Beck said, you're going to want to go up. Gravity. It's our enemy, not our friend.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so, and did I get it right in that you source all of your DIY raw ingredients mainly from Biome? Is that what you said?
Yes, so because they sell it in smaller quantities, that's the website that I started with the Biome website. You can also get some stuff from, or the carrier oils from the Nourish Life website. And there's a website that I do currently use now called N Essentials, but that's more if you're looking for larger quantities because they only sell in kind of 250 grams and up. So but it was tricky. I had to do a lot of research and it was really tough to kind of find websites where I trusted the ingredients. So part of my reasoning for wanting to actually build a website is because I want people to be able to find the information like in the one location. And I'm also hoping that I can possibly put some of those raw ingredients on the website so you don't have to go buy from 3 different websites or 4 different websites. And then you don't have to pay all that shipping and all that handling, and you know that the product's going to be the most natural. I think for us wellness advocates, thank you. So I just want to be able to help people access all that information as easily as possible. So that was kind of the reasoning behind that. But I would say, probably Biome is the best one if you're looking in terms of sourcing.
And that's biome.com.au?
Yep. They're up in Queensland, and I think it's about $75 or over is free shipping. But anything under that is you've got to pay about $10 for shipping.
Yep. Okay. All right. Fab. Yeah. And some parting words of wisdom, Tash, because we have been going for well over an hour, ticking on to an hour and a half now.
Oh gosh. Sorry, everybody.
No, this has been a delightful conversation.
The only thing I would really say is that I obviously realize I'm in a different phase and a different stage of my life. But I think that starting and implementing these changes really starts from the top down. So I don't have a family per se, of my own, and I don't have children, but I've got lots of women in my life that I care about, and my beautiful oily community, I care about you all as well. So I want to make sure that I am being the change that I want to see and that I want to be. So if I don't start implementing that, then nobody else is going to see those results and then want to join in. So you want to maybe start on yourself, and then once you start seeing those beautiful results, then you're going to want to share it with someone else, and then they're going to be inspired to share it with someone else. I started doing that just on my own. So now I've inspired my 16-year-old cousin to start with natural skincare. And she's really giving away a lot of those harsh and nasty chemicals. And if you can get someone from, a young enough age and they, you know, they don't know any differently, then they're going to have the most beautiful natural skin, and they're not going to have to worry the same way that Beck and I have. So I think it's really just about being caring and sharing, and just, like I said, being the change that you want to see.
Oh, that's amazing. That's really, really beautiful. I couldn't have asked for any better parting words of wisdom, Tash. And yes, be the change you wish to see in the world, be the lighthouse for others. And the only way that you can do that is if you're actually applying these things to your own life. And then people just become inspired, don't they? And that change ripples out, and they can't help but want what you've got.
Exactly. And I mean, you only have to touch the lives of a few people, and it, just like you said, it'll ripple out. And then before we know it, everybody will be, you know, living their best life.
And it can seem a little bit superficial, the fact that we're talking about skin, but I really don't think it is, because of the impact that the quality of our skin has on our self-esteem and our confidence at really critical parts of life. Goodness, what I would give, to change those years where there was a lot of bullying and, emotional situations that I did not enjoy. Nobody should have to go through that. And if we, like you said, can change somebody's mind and show them that there's another way of caring for their skin, and through that they're going to have better self-esteem and confidence as a result of that, well, you couldn't ask for anything better.
Exactly. Confidence is key, and just empowerment, because think of all the amazing things you can do once you're empowered.
Yep. All the things. There is nothing we can't do when we are empowered.
Exactly.
That is true. That is true. Thank you so much for joining me here with this interview tonight. It's been an absolute delight talking with you.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for having me, and thank you for holding on out there, everybody, because I know, like Beck said, we've gone for over the hour. And if anybody needs any specific advice or has any specific questions, feel free to contact me. Like I said, I set up my social media, which I'll just post below, because that's probably the one that I check the most, because I don't really look at my personal social media, to be honest. But yeah, I'm more than happy to help if anyone has any further queries. Yeah. Oh, sorry, there's a delay. Thank you so much, Beck, though,
what
for
I might
having me.
ask
I really
you to do, Tash, is link up. So in the comments below, after we jump off, if you could link up some of your favorite resources, or like the Biome website, for example, and anywhere else that you buy your ingredients from, or anything that you use skincare related, that would be really helpful for everybody. But otherwise, guys, if you've got any questions for Tash regarding her DIY recipes, her mud mask creations, any of those things are about oil cleansing. I imagine we're going to have some questions about oil cleansing. Be brave, guys. Be brave. You can do it. But if you do have questions, pop them below, and we'll be sure to see them and answer them.
Yeah,
Thank
100%.
you again.
No, so welcome.
Thank
have a lovely
you.
night. Thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thank you, Tash. Bye, guys. Have a great Wednesday night, and we'll see you next week. See you, Tash.
Bye.